been going crazy. No, you can't blame me, you either hustle or lazy. I've been going all summer, running up the numbers, and you ain't gotta wonder how we doing. It's the movement, it's the real estate news with Charles Noonan.
Welcome to another episode of the Real Estate Newsroom. Today we got a very special guest, my guy Darius Benders. I've seen this guy grow his entire career live in front of me, from being somebody who just started to learn from people to somebody who started to teach people, and it's the biggest reward. So today, man, I got to thank you, Darius, for coming back through.
God, appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, man, friend to the room.
Yes, sir.
Right, friend to the news show. All the way from the A.
Yes.
I've been seeing you work non-stop, man. Did you just landed?
I just landed. Literally came right to the airport.
right to the studio.
Yeah, man. We had a delay, so I was supposed to be here earlier, but yeah, just came here from the A, man. Been out there now. October make 3 years.
Okay.
I think we shot. Was that about a year ago?
Probably
about a year ago. And it came down, linked with you, and since then, like you said, we've been just growing. Really just loving on the people and trying to help people grow their businesses.
Nice. I see it, man. And the good thing about our online community is everybody knows what we're doing, whether it's good or bad, right? So actually, when you came last time, I didn't have the conference yet.
You did.
Let's Build Birmingham. We were still we were shooting ideas back and forth and building it out. I was promoting it, and then that passed. You got to see that.
You killed it.
Yeah, man.
The room was more than full. I said, bro, it's crazy.
So that's just a testament to the work we put in.
Absolutely.
People won't fly across the country, book flights, tickets, time off of work from kids to do something if they don't really believe it could help them.
That's real influence. It's one thing to get people on a webinar or Instagram Live, but to get people to book a flight, to get people to book hotels, to get people to revolve their schedule around you and your event, that's real influence. That means there's no way you can fake that. You got to be really helping people really change their lives. So shout out to you for that, bro.
Appreciate it.
Yes,
and then we all watching what you're doing, bro. So we watched you, and I got to say this to you, and we might talk online or text or whatever, but I got to tell you face to face, man. I heard about your level of consistency, but now I got to see it more as I started to watch what you're doing. Bro, you define consistency.
I appreciate it.
It's the one variable that everybody can do, but not everybody does it.
Facts.
And you talk about webinars, you talk about showing up online. How has your business changed since what has consistency contributed to your business?
Man, like you said it. Everyone can control. My saying is control the controllables, because that's all we can do, right? Rather than worrying about things that are out of our control. And I know I'm not like that talented in a lot of other areas, right? There might be people who do better content. There might be people who speak better, but the thing I can control is showing up all the time. So, I've been doing webinars probably the past 3 years, a week, sometimes twice a week, right? So you got to think. And I tell people with virtual events, to sell any product, whether you do a service, whether you do consulting, you sell digital products, webinars is, in my opinion, the best avenue to go, because you get to sell one to many, and you get to really get free value. And people, you have 500 people come out to Birmingham. I know every single one of those people who came, that wasn't their first time seeing you.
Of course.
They had seen you probably a number of times. So that's what kind of webinars does. So consistency's played a major role in our business. It's allowed us, I feel like, to separate. When I came in the game, a lot of people were, talking credit, offering funding, but some of them aren't here anymore, right?
Yeah.
Some of them aren't around anymore. And when I came in, it was after pandemic. So a lot of people talk about pandemic time. I didn't get to see that, but I did. One thing I know is how you do anything is how you do everything. In my whole life, consistency has always been the thing that I've had. So I feel like it correlated and transferred into business, which made business not easy, but easier.
Yeah, nice. That's another thing we got in common, man. We started teaching and helping people online after the pandemic.
Facts.
So it was like, I got to see you come up, you got to see me come up. And again, big shout out to Atlanta, because we both leaned on Atlanta to help us out.
For sure.
Whether they grabbed us and said, hey man, y'all good people,
we just come
let us take you.
Yeah.
Or I don't even know how it happened, man, but I know I was consistent, I was working hard. And I think I had something with land bank properties that people never heard of. So I think it was like, all right, hey, we got something. Let's make sure we guide this guy the right way. Because it was hard for me. And I spent those days with 8 people on the webinar, two left.
It'd be like that.
Yeah. It wasn't easy. And then I think people started to catch on.
Yeah.
And one of the things I think helped me a lot, which I see in everything you do, is that people say this about me, like, you can tell I really want to help somebody.
Exactly.
What I see in you and your whole like motion and trajectory is that you really care.
Absolutely.
I be like, I see you check up on people that are in my mentorship. I check up on people that got funded.
Yeah.
And that's just the word about working with you is that, yeah, he cares. He's going to make sure I get what I paid for and more.
Absolutely. Especially in the time now, right, where trust is at an all-time low in the online space.
Yeah.
So I tell people, again, the easiest thing you can do is just care. Like you got to think people are, paying you. People are paying you to help them get to the next level. It don't cost you nothing to really just care. And sometimes that involves tough love. Sometimes it involves, understanding your personnel, understanding your clients and how to really help them get to that next level. So for me, it's like, yeah, we do our calls when we do our calls, but they already know. In our group, you could drop questions. We're making sure we're going to get you right. Because it's my thing is this. The more results you can give people, the easier selling becomes. Yeah. So most people are wondering, how do I collect more money? How I collect more money? But my theory is, if you help people get those results, now selling's easy. Guys, we didn't help 59 people now make 6 or 7 figures.
Nice.
So now we
you got 7 figures?
Come on, we got
talk to me.
Yeah.
I love it.
So because of that, now it's easier to sell because I can just post a testimonial where I don't have to do too much talking. It's easy to hear from us. We're the person, this is why you should buy my stuff. That's cool. I throw up the testimonial. Bro got his stats up that he just did 7 figures or he just did high 6 figures.
Actually, I did see that.
Yeah.
I saw you get your 7-figure award.
Yeah.
But wait, time, bro. We got to introduce you.
Yeah.
Because we friends, we know.
They don't know us. Yeah,
to that camera right there, could you just introduce yourself to the audience for those that followed me since or subscribed since you left?
Absolutely. My name is Darius Benders. I help entrepreneurs leverage credit to be able to create cash flow. 7-figure entrepreneur. We've coached over 5,000 people now. We've been able to help basically 60 people make 6 or 7 figures running funding companies or growing their online coaching businesses.
Boom. I love it.
Yes, sir.
I love it. I left that part out, man.
Nah, hey, we got right into it.
Like that's everyday thing, right?
Facts.
Nah, it ain't like that.
You ain't lying.
So, one of my biggest wins in my journey, I have a guy who has 158 properties that he got from my teachings.
Wow.
I gave him one website that focuses on one state. And every month he just takes a portion of his check and he buys a part of a city in a specific state, and he goes like absolutely crazy.
Ain't it crazy how one piece of information changes?
That's all it takes. That's all it takes. And for you guys, right? You might give somebody one piece of information to say, structure your business this way. Absolutely. Or it's not your business, it's your personal.
Yes.
Right? Get your personal right. So I love the fact that you're in the space where you're helping people. And I always say this about us, man. We be having the ideas for businesses, but we don't have the money to do them properly.
Facts. It's everything. And it's like leverage. I tell people, the entrepreneur who creates the most leverage always wins, right? 3 ways to create more leverage is other people's information, other people's audience. Most importantly, in my opinion, is other people's money. Yeah. Most of us, we coming from places where we don't have access to capital. Like, we all know the person who says, man, I don't want to tell you my ideas because you're going to steal them. But they ain't doing shit with it.
Right? Because they don't have the money.
Exactly.
And, what's so crazy? People, in our world is very unique because we know I can go to you and get $500,000 because my personal credit is right and everything else. So it's not really a thing. Do you realize that, and this is why I like how you show up so much online, because the average person, they come up with a great idea, but they try to save enough money to open that business.
Exactly.
Like, can you imagine how long it would take for somebody working to save
$100,000 even?
$100,000?
You said the average American got less than $1,000 to their name. But the average American, 82%. 82%. So you mean to tell me you're going to try to go save 50,000? Let's even go with $50,000. That's going to take you 50 years if you're in the average bracket, right? Even if you're someone who makes a lot of money, you making 150,000, which is considered decent. You still, after taxes, you got life, you got bills. Most people aren't able to save that much money. So now you got to think you could come to someone like me where I can get you access to that in a day or a week. And now what we've done is we just collapse time, because most people, they think they have a making money problem. What I tell people is you don't have a money making problem. You have a speed problem. You don't make money fast enough to get to enjoy it. So you got to think, by the time I've failed 5 times, you haven't even started, because you don't have the money to go out and do it.
And then here's what's worse about this, bro. Businesses change.
Facts, a lot.
So if you still saving up for cars for your Toro business, that boat left already. By the time you get the 70 grand, right? The boat left. It's gone. If you saving up for your first Airbnb in New York City, Airbnb done hit and done ran up the bag, and now it's illegal. You can't even do it. So you still thinking you saving for furniture, and it's like, that's not the way.
Facts.
You could have started your Airbnb, hit the bump in the road, but you got enough money now to where now you can adjust, and then you know the legal way to do them in New York City, and now you can keep on going.
And that's the part, learning from mistakes. And like, I don't care what it is. I think sometimes people think, when you have a mentor, it's about to go perfect. Even when you have a coach gives you plays, you go out, you see what works, what doesn't work. But like you said, it's like, if you don't have the means to the capital to be able to do so, you miss out on the opportunity.
Yeah.
So I love to use the GPA reference. If I give you an address and I said, me and Charles are having a land banking and funding conference, if you don't got the address, you trying to get there in New York City on your own, good luck. You either going to miss the whole conference, or you're going to get there too late. And that's how people are approaching their businesses. So I tell people, the cheat code in America is credit. If you're not leveraging that, you're behind. All your favorite big businesses, I'm talking Wells Fargo, Louis Vuitton, all these big businesses, Elon Musk even, they're using credit. So if they are, and they got money, why would you not?
Yeah.
Right.
I love it. And again, we're the most creative people. So we come up with the ideas, and we just don't have the money to do it, right? We don't have the structure to. So when you do funding for people, and I want to dig into what you've been doing lately, you touched on 2 things. But one, when you do funding for people, do you have something in place that'll kind of guide them when they're starting a business?
Yeah, so what we do is, I'm glad you said it. So what we do is we do a done-for-you service for people. What we do is it's essentially white glove. So we take the guessing out of it for you, right? So people who qualify, they have good personal credit, they have their business structure. We do the funding for them. So what we do is we build relationships with some called BRMs, banking relationship managers. So we have those at different lenders, places like Chase, Citizens, Truist. And what we do is we partner with them where we're able to push applications through actually manually. So most people, when they apply online, they're going to go into an algorithm where they're going to get what they're going to get. But for us, we can request our limits, which helps creates more leverage. So we're able to help people get 2 to 5 times more funded than they would get if they were doing it on their own.
Nice.
So you don't have to guess. You don't have to know what to put on the application when you come to me. I'm going to show you how to do that. So now what we do is we teach people how they can become that person. Because if you think about what I just said, right? 82% of people got less than $1,000. All right, we know 80% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. We know the number one reason is the lack of funding. So what if you could be the person that could be out here getting people to fund,
helping people with it?
I say, listen, they say if you want people to like you, go sell ice cream. I say if you want people to like you, start a funding company, right? Nobody not like me because I'm getting people money. And you don't even got it. People think, oh, I got to get people 100,000, 200,000. Yeah, we done get people 300,000, 400,000, 500,000. But if you could just get a person 50,000,
of course,
they're turned up. People don't see that type of money.
That's big. I asked a friend of mine the other day. I had a business networking event, and I was talking to somebody that does funding, and he just kept saying $100,000, and I said, bro, just time out for a second. I asked my friend, I said, if you got $100,000, what would you do with it?
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, so yeah, man, I have to think about that.
Exactly.
And I'm just thinking the power of 50, the power of 25,000. Like, how long would it take for somebody to save $25,000?
Years.
So funding is like the super fast track to level the playing field.
100%.
Yeah.
And you should, when the first thing people do, this is where people go wrong. When we give people funding, right? What I tell people is you should always have a consultant portion to your funding company. The reason why is because, like you said, your guy said he don't even know what he would do if he had 100,000.
No clue.
So what he's gonna do, respectfully, most likely he's gonna blow the bread.
Oh,
right?
here's what he said. He's like, I'm not gonna go shopping or nothing, which just told me
He
he
gonna
gonna
go
go
shopping.
shopping. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, seriously?
Facts.
That's like the first thing that came to his head.
Absolutely.
So yeah, man, that's important. And you put some stuff out there when you do get a client and you get them a lot of money.
Well, actually, what do you want to do? What are you into? And if they have something they want to do, most people are going to go try to do the thing. So, for example, people come to me all the time, hey, I'm trying to get these real estate deals, right? They'll say, okay, so when I get you the money, what are you going to do? I'm about to go out there and get them. That's wrong, though. The reason it's wrong is because you don't know what you don't know. They should go see someone like you first because you already have the experience, which is going to allow them to be able to go out and make the money flip. Versus if they go, I don't know, I'm not a real estate expert, but let's say they go find a wrong crib or they don't go evaluate it right. Now they blow money. Yeah. Right. So the first thing anybody should do when we get you this money is you should invest in mentorship and specifically learn a high income skill. Something like real estate, something like running a funding company, something like leveraging your knowledge, because these are things that if you go and get the right coach, then you'll never have to be broke again.
Yeah, all the mistakes are made.
Exactly.
That's what people pay for. And I got to admit, I bought land wrong. I built houses wrong where I had to take the walls down for the inspector to come back.
Damn.
Those are things that somebody won't have to go through in mentorship. Because I already paid for it. I'm blessed and fortunate enough to where it doesn't hurt me.
How much do you think it cost you in mistakes?
In learning?
Yeah.
I've spent $1 million in mistakes.
So it costs you $1 million for not having a mentor. Early.
Yeah, 100%.
So if somebody could come pay you even $30,000, they'd be saving $970,000
easily.
And that's what people don't understand.
So I bought a piece of land that wasn't that was at the bottom of like a hill where all the drainage leads into. I thought I was cool. I bought the piece right next to it, right? So we could kind of fix the sewer system, so it could tap into the sewer system. So that's 40 grand I'm in. I found out from the city, so I paid like probably $10,000 for a septic system and everything. I found out from the city they're not allowing that type of septic system. So that's 50 grand that I had to lose. So now when I teach, the first thing I'm saying is before you even look at some land, use a website called Land ID. It's going to tell you on the bottom if it's tapped into city sewer or it's going to be on septic, right? And then I'm just teaching so much stuff. And even last night on my call, my student was like, Charles, I've been with you for a year now, and I have to say, I really sound like a nerd when I talk to my friends. They're just so amazed that I know so much. And this is like a regular person from Philadelphia who grew up hard times and just never had a mentor. And she's looking forward to our mentorship anniversary. That's hard. Right? That's I'm hard. Like, I'm just proud that I'm teaching people to avoid the mistakes that I made.
Absolutely. That's what it's about, real impact.
Yeah. Impact is everything.
And it's dope because now her friends get to look at her like we need to pay you, right?
Yeah. You know what? I like that you teach people how to teach.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that because it allows us to go further.
For sure.
Right?
No, I tell people like everybody has either a gift or a skill set. Right, a gift is what God gave you, right? You can't really that's what you got. That's you. You might have had that from the time you was young. Maybe you sing, maybe you naturally know how to run fast, whatever it may be. Then there's skill sets. People have 9 to 5s. One of my good friends, my guy Adrian, he took his skill set of he's very organized. He's good with PDFs. He's good with Excel sheets. He took his 9 to 5, and what he did was now he consults with people like us. He comes in our back end and he makes our businesses more efficient, right? Yeah. So when I think of it, I say everybody has something that they can show somebody. Most people, the problem is you think you need to be at a level 10 before you start teaching, but you don't.
No.
I teach people, you just teach down. So if you're at a 5, you teach all the 4s, the 3s, the 2s, the 1s, and etc.
I talked about that earlier. We have to, we got to teach each other.
Absolutely.
We have to share, we have to teach each other because it just makes us better. As a whole, right? If you know how to do something that I don't, and you teach it to me, I'm better for it.
Absolutely.
Right? You're better for it because when we teach, we realize we're also learning.
Absolutely.
Right? You teach 50 people, they're gonna bring you some bank, some credit union, some FICO law or whatever it is. They're gonna bring, hey Darius, I found this. You're like, oh, where you found this at?
It's a cheat code.
Right or wrong?
Teaching is a cheat code.
It's a cheat code.
You get paid to learn.
Yeah. But so tell me this, man, because I mean, you show this online. I don't show my cars and none of my stuff online anymore,
Yeah.
bro. But I've seen since you have impacted more people, you upgraded to that Lambo, bro.
100%. I tell people a byproduct of more impact is more income. And I think the biggest thing online is people thinking income first. But no, I think impact first because
Of course.
I really realized the more people we help, the more money you make every trip. So, yeah, we just grabbed our Lambo. It's probably been 4 months now. Moved to the city. And, yeah, it's been a blessing, bro. And I think most importantly, it's like the inspiration factor. Because everybody who in my program, I make them put dates on when you get in your Lamb. When you get in your Lamb. Okay, end of this year. You got to. Because at the end of the day, what I learned is most people think, oh, if I go get it, it's a liability. But in our business, right, it's not a liability. And if you have the right mindset, it's an asset. Because what it does is a conversation starter. Everywhere I go now, what do? How can we work?
Instant credibility.
You can't fake a Lambo, right? You need bank statements.
So I told you I was looking at a new studio, right? I text the guy on a Saturday. He's like, come see it tomorrow morning. I was like, all right, so I'm going to go work out. But I drive a high-end car. So I went in workout clothes. As soon as he see me, he was like, nice car. What do you do for a living? Bro, I had on the dirtiest mismatch, right? So I got on the orange top, blue shorts, black socks. He's like, oh, yeah, so my name is, he treated me like royalty. The first thing he said, he's like, nice car. Oh, you can park it right here.
Yeah, of course.
I was like, all right. Walks me in. I might be musky, right? Because I knew I had to work out and get there, right? Because it was Mother's Day. So I'm there and I'm saying, if I didn't show up with this car,
it might not have been
I might not have got in.
Facts.
He might have asked me questions. Well, let me see bank statements. How long you been in? I bypassed all of that, bro. Like, and I got a car wash because there was an event going on, right? Yeah. So everything's sparkling clean. I swear to you, he's like, nice car. Park right here, right? Like, and it was in 2 driveways.
Yeah.
He's like, park right here. What do? As he's opening up to show me the space, and I was just saying, like, damn, like this really does serve so many other purposes.
So many.
Yeah.
Especially when you got the ability to monetize it. And like you said, you had musty clothes, you ain't had nothing going on. But
I went hard, too, because the summertime is coming. So, I'm trying to, like, get right. Yeah, so, yeah, man. Give me some of the downside, though, that has been for you, because driving a Lamborghini, like, it's a super statement.
Not for sure.
Right? Give me some of the negatives that some people just don't know about.
If I'm being transparent, I be in the crib a lot, so I don't really be, like, outside like that. My shit parked in the private garage. But in terms of negatives, I mean, people asking for money and stuff like that, you gonna get that, right? Yeah. Family, friends, loved ones, but I don't let that stress me out.
It come with the territory.
It come with the territory, right? Yeah. It's either yes or no. I ain't saying it's always yes, but
you know what you can't say no more?
What?
I don't got it.
I know.
Yo, I hate to put this out there like that, but your knee-jerk reaction is somebody you won't give money to. Is like, yo, I ain't got it right now.
You can't use that.
You can't use
it's that right It's now. Over.
So what are you saying to people that's like, yo, let me hold something?
I say, I got a big event coming up with a lot of expenses. I'll let you know after.
Ooh, that's a nice.
It's a soft one.
Yeah, that's a soft like. Nah, chill.
Or my rule is thumb is I'll let somebody borrow what I'm not willing to lose. My rule is I never let nobody borrow what I'm not willing to lose, because the reality is if someone needs to borrow the money, the likelihood of you getting it back is low for the most part. That's from my experience. Right. So if I give them money, I'll say, hey, this is it. Like that's what it is. But yeah, other than that, I mean, you get attention. So all attention isn't always good attention. But like I said, I'll be out the way. So really, I ain't really had no bad experiences. I ain't had that first service yet. I know that bill coming.
Oh, yeah. So I was going to tell you. Yeah. So I had a Urus, and he was driving it to school at one point.
He was pulling up to school in the Urus?
And a Maybach, yeah. And I was picking him up in a Rolls Royce before, right?
Oh, it was going crazy.
You're never going to get a break on tuition. You're never going to get a break on service.
Gotcha.
The rich ninja tax is definitely going to hit you. Like, all of your regular prices are going to go up. Haircut, like you pulling up in something different. They see you in 2 or 3.
My barber said all of a sudden
I'm telling you.
The price went up to 90. I said,
I'm telling you, like, you got the same, like,
and the thing is, I know somebody who, I refer her to other people, they still pay the same price.
Yeah.
My price went up to 90.
That's the rich ninja tax,
shit is
bro.
crazy.
It's real. But it comes with the territory. It is what it is, man. And even with houses, like, people know I owned a bunch of houses, so I got a clogged toilet or whatever, so I'm calling my plumber to go handle it, and the price is like triple. I'm like, bro. And I gave
Good
him,
tax.
and he's the plumber that does when I build a new house, he's the plumber that does
Gets
the
it.
work. So I'm giving him $12,000 per house.
He's still taxing.
And
more.
he's still taxing me.
Crazy work.
He asked me what kind of car I got. I was like, he said, hey man, what you drive up there in New York? Because I know your car collection crazy. I said, no, man, I just drive a Tesla.
That's it. That's smart, man.
I said, yeah, I just drive a Tesla. I don't even need no more, bro. Like, for real, I'm more
funny.
conscious of what that does, but I won't stop, because you have to realize the impact it has on people that see you, that
Inspiration.
look like you,
100%.
that is just driving a car like that.
100%.
Yeah, man.
100%.
So impact is huge. So what's the most money you ever got for a client in funding?
For a client, 387,000.
Damn. 387,000.
387,000.
That's 10% of 3.8 million.
Yeah.
So if they're going to buy a building for $3.8 million, you just gave them the down payment.
Yeah, she had good credit
Ball game.
and business revenue coming in.
Ball game,
Yeah.
right? Like, just think, you go from I took care of my credit, meeting you, get structured out for a business, for business credit or business funding.
Yep.
Doing the research on a building that's $3.8 million where you need 10%, that person who works a 9 to 5 that might make $80,000 meets with you and works with you can now go buy or put the down payment on a $3.8 million building.
Change their whole life.
And I'm going to tell them how to do it right now. You wire the funds from your credit card to the title company for your down payment through Plastic, PLASTIQ, or Melio, MELIO.com. All you have to do is upload the purchase agreement. They're going to ask you to wire the funds, open an account, link your credit card, and you don't have to link all the credit. You don't have to link just one. You can link multiple credit cards, and you can send multiple wires to the title company in a real estate transaction. They all count as a credit. So if your down payment's $380,000, you can do 50 from one card, 50 from another. You're going to get credits towards your down payment, and that's how you really go in the game, get in the real estate game, and go crazy by working with Darius Benders.
Hey, boy just went crazy. We'll get y'all
Like, that's
plan.
just like, we talking impact, bro.
Yeah,
I'm trying
facts.
to, I don't know who impacted who more, but I'm trying to just make sure I'm at that level.
Going crazy. I'm gonna give y'all some sauce on how y'all can go out and get some funding.
I knew you was gonna do
You
that,
got
bro.
you. You just
I
gave
knew
him a
you
play,
was gonna
man.
do that. Go ahead.
So listen, those of y'all out there, your personal credit is in order. You got your LLC structure. What I tell people, you always want to start with 0% interest funding. The reason why is because if you're new in the investing game or you're new in business, you want to think about, okay, this is the first time I'm doing this. I don't have a cash flow and producing asset yet, right? So first thing you want to do is start with credit unions. Our credit unions are typically going to give you higher limits. Typically the underwriting is going to be a little easier as of the national banks. So you guys can go to ibanknet.com, and what you all are going to be able to do is you're going to be able to search by credit unions in your state and your zip code, right? From there, what I recommend is checking out their website, checking out products if they have products you're looking for. All right, if it's business funding, you want to look at, do they have lines of credit? What are the requirements for their lines of credit? Do they have 0% or low interest credit cards? All right, we want to start off with typically 2 to 3 of those first, and then from there we want to tear up to national banks. One of the first banks you all want to go with on the business side is going to be Chase, right? Chase has a 0% interest for 12 months. Inc. Unlimited card that goes up to $100,000. You actually maximum exposure can get $150,000 per LLC. All right, straight out the gate, you could be a brand new business. Typically, what I tell you is you want to deposit some money to build that relationship, because that's going to be the difference between $20,000 and $50,000 limits. All right, the reason you want to start with them first is because they have something called a 524 rule. What that means is if you have more than 5 new products within a 24-month time span, you're 99% chance you're going to get denied. All right, and then what you guys can do is something called credit card stacking. Credit card stacking essentially is when you understand what banks are pulling from what bureaus, so we can move strategically. So So, for example, if I wanted to stack with banks that pull from Experian, I can start with a Chase. I could do American Express. American Express is going to allow me 5 business credit cards with just 1 inquiry. All right, then I could also go to Navy Fed. Navy Fed on the business side is going to pull from Experian as well. Just like that, bro, I've been able to get, that's 7 business credit cards from one bureau. Now we can do the same across Equifax, the same across TransUnion, and this is how you're able to go get 10, 12 business credit cards with 3 to 5 inquiries.
I figured something out, bro.
Yeah.
You just want to help people.
That's it, bro.
You just want to help people.
Go crazy.
You just want to help people.
And if you got bad credit, but you got business revenue coming in,
oh,
right?
you got something for everybody.
Oh, yeah. There's something called Rev-based funding, right? So you guys can look up ROK Financial, ROK Financial. And what they'll do is they're looking for an average of at least $5,000 in monthly revenue in 6 months in business. If you meet those requirements, you have an opportunity to go get funded based on your time in business and your business revenue. All right. You can also check out On Deck, ONDECK. All right. And they're going to do the same thing based on your revenue, time in business, and then you can go out and get funded. And these are different ways you can leverage, right? And for those of you who's like, man, I got high utilization. One thing we do as funders is most funders get paid once. I get paid twice. And I teach people to get paid twice because what you can do is if you or a customer has high utilization, we could check out something called alternative lending, right? So alternative lending, essentially personal loan or debt consolidation loans, places like SoFi, places like Upgrade, places like Avant. What we can do is even if your utilization is high, they will approve you for money. Right, but now what you can do is you can take this money, pay down your credit cards, because most people think utilization is dependent on all debt. No, it's specifically credit card debt. So now what we've done is we've taken a SoFi, we paid down our utilization, and then if we have more money, a hack is you can take the remaining balance you have from that loan and we can put it into the new business bank accounts that we're going to have, because now we help our relationships, which helps us go get 20, 30,000. And someone's going to go say, well, I'm just leveraging debt to pay down debt. Well, what we're going to do is now that we got these business credit cards, we can just go pay off our personal loan. Now we have no personal debt and everything is in our business name.
Got it.
Which gives us more leverage.
That's where you want to be too.
Exactly.
You want, or you tell me, you want to have a beautiful personal profile that you're not using. You're using all your business credit and everything on the business side.
100%.
So is it okay if I kept my credit cards at 0?
For your personal
my
side?
personal.
Yeah. So what I tell
got
people,
2. I got one. I got a like a Chase Freedom for 30,000.
Okay.
And then I have like a Southwest Chase for like 20-something thousand. I never touch those. Those are just like for show.
For
like in our world, is it cool that those are for show?
That's
then I go to
fine.
Bank of America and I get
the big stuff on the business side.
Yeah,
absolutely, that's perfectly fine. I say 2 and 9% is optimal, but if you're at 0, that's fine. The reason why is because you have good what we call comparable credit. You got you said $25,000 limit and a $30,000 limit.
Yeah.
So what happens is now anything you want on the business side, they're basing it off of obviously the personal and the business, but those limits. So realistically, you're probably not going to get nothing less than those high limits that you do have, because they can say Charles has already handled this type of funding, so we don't mind giving him money. What most people go wrong is they go get a $2,000 Capital One card, or they get a $500 card and they try to go right to the business side. But no bank's going to say, okay, we see you don't have any high limits on the personal side. We're not going to turn around and go give you $20,000, $30,000 limits.
So they kind of match.
Comparable credit.
Or comparable.
Yeah, 2 to 3 times the amount of your highest personal cards.
Oh, 2 to 3 times.
2 to 3 times typically.
All right, so I got 50, so they would give me 100.
Exactly.
All right, that
minimum,
makes sense.
At minimum, that 50. They're not dipping less than that 50.
Okay, cool. That explains it, because with Bank of America, I was able to get 87,000.
Come on.
But I actually got like 50, and then I got 37
on the second card.
Yeah, on a different business.
Got you.
And then somebody told me that I could get a third card and transfer those limits up.
Over, exactly.
So that equal 87.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what most people don't know, you said a gem, low key, people don't know, each LLC gets treated differently. So if you, like, people come to me all the time, I got multiple LLCs. So I'm like, do you know you can get funding under each LLC? Because your EIN is treated as a different person, essentially, right? So if we go get you even 100 on one LLC, we can do the same at the same exact banks on the other LLCs. People are under the impression that, well, the banks are going to see that I just applied. They don't care. That's not their business.
Yeah.
Each LLC goes in essentially as the social for your business.
So now you can have 3 businesses that match that person.
Exactly.
And they don't mind
matter.
because they're separate entities.
Exactly. Unless they have something called maximum exposure. Certain banks, maximum exposure might be 150, meaning if you have, it don't matter how many LLCs you got, once you hit that number, then they might need docs, which is fine because there's so many banks we can go to.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Bro. You taught me so much, man.
Yeah.
Just following your content. You give a lot of free content too.
That's it. That's
Following
the
the
game.
content.
Free game.
I get a lot of free information from it, but I've just learned by just watching and paying attention to what you guys are saying and just applying it.
Nah, I appreciate that.
All right, so we only turned over one stone. That's the most you got one person. We done did 10 minutes off, but you told me 380. I was like, I know exactly what to do with that. What's the most money that's been made by someone that you've taught? Because I see you teaching people exactly how you make money, which is so rare.
Yeah.
People don't think when we make money historically that we can show somebody else exactly how and encourage them to do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Too. But you've increased your business and profitability in your business since you've been teaching people how to do funding for others.
Yes.
Right? What's the most one of your students, and this is going to be a big flex for you,
Nah,
bro.
facts.
What's the most, because I don't like to use this word, but in our culture, hip hop world, our industry, this is the best way to describe it. Those are like grandkids to you, bro. What's the most your grandkid got? Because you didn't make them directly, but you made them indirectly. So no offense to the grandkid. Bro, give me a better word. But
now what I say is family. Like I be like this. I tell my people that I coach, I don't never want to son them, right?
Yeah, right. No, it's not that.
And I don't want them to even think it. So what I do is I say, listen, I didn't make you the money, you made the money, but I appreciate you allowing me to guide you there.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
That's why I came up with like the Land Bank University, and I call them team members.
Yeah.
Because we're not trying to flex
at all.
But when you just think of like the family tree,
it's dope.
It's like a grandkid. It's like a grandkid.
It's like we flex different in this business, right? It's like not how much can I make.
Yeah.
I helped this many people have $100,000 months, $100,000 days made. Like that's a different type of flex, right? It's bigger than just you. And I think that's what's kind of separated our program. We give out our awards, and our awards is hard. I mean, the last two awards we gave out, I think over 20 between. So we have 6 figures in a year, 6 figures in a month, the 7-figure, and then we're rolling out the 100K in a day award that's coming up soon. So most 1.1 million. One of my people that came through my program,
they got 4.
No,
that's how much they made in revenue. Yeah, we don't give out awards for funding. I give out. That would be the easy way for me to do it. If I give that, everybody would get the awards for the funding. So these numbers are ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm talking about made in revenue, $1.1 million.
I want you one day to try to add it up.
Yeah.
Your impact in totality of available funds, right? So if you got 10 people, $50,000. That's $500,000.
We funded over $35 million in the last year.
You've counted?
Yeah. We have that on track. I'm talking about the awards that we give for the people. But we funded over $35 million in the last 18 months.
Damn, that's crazy. Can you understand? And somebody said this to me at the conference. She said, Charles, I just want to let you know you're impacting people's lives, their children's lives, and their children's lives.
Thanks.
Because you're getting them debt-free deeds that will never leave that last name. Whether they put it in a trust or their names, it's lasting like eons away from what I'll ever see.
Facts.
And I was able to appreciate that. But just think how much money you're putting into our community, right? Just the ability, the buying power, the leverage, the capital, the ability that we have, that if you didn't teach,
I'll be selfish.
It's $38 million or what gone. That never happened.
Absolutely.
Right?
It'd be selfish. And that's why I tell people you need to give your gift away, and you need to apply that pressure to yourself, because if you don't, it's bigger than me. It's bigger than you. It's about the people that won't be impacted if you don't step up, right?
Yeah. That's a whole different side, bro. It's like, who's going to buy this land? Who's going to buy the land in Birmingham while they're gentrifying it if we don't?
Facts.
Right? We know what color Birmingham's going to turn to if we don't do it.
Exactly.
Just imagine Birmingham, Alabama, the storied city, changes color.
Facts.
Right? It's gentrified, and that wouldn't be right, bro.
Absolutely.
So that pushes me and motivates me to really go as hard as I can.
100%.
But for one of your students, what's the most they've ever made, you said?
1.1 in a year.
So you made $1 millionaire?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
First one, too. First one.
How'd you feel when you got that call?
It was different. It was like,
You felt like you made
I felt
a
like
million.
I was more happier for him than me.
Yeah, so when my students call me and say, hey, I got a property, I won, I got this land, I get more excited for them than if I bought it. Because for me, it's just a click. It's a transaction. 100%. I'm like, yeah, all right, it passed everything, buy it.
It's the best feeling in the world. Yeah. Helping people turn up. There ain't nothing like it. It ain't nothing even close. Your success, of course, is you need to be able to survive. But once you get to that level, it's like, all right, how can I up the ante? So now what we're doing is like we're doing partnerships. That's like the next level. So because I'm like, okay, how can I help? Like this year, I want to dominate. I want to create the most millionaires. Like nobody fucking with us.
Man, you got a lot of people. I know Mitch got a couple.
Yeah, Mitch going crazy. I just did an event with Mitch.
I saw.
We was actually just talking about
bro.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
Now he a beast. A lot of people out here doing
He's such a smart. Like
he is.
When you talk about minds, like he's a
genius.
Smart, creative mind. And I tell him that all the time. Like, yo, you different, bro.
Facts.
His level of creativity is next level.
And I got to see it because it was the first time like we partnered.
Working with him.
Yeah, and I was like, okay.
He'll sit low and say, hey, we're gonna do it like this.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, ooh.
Like
you see the vision. He's super smart, man. Shout out to Pushman Mitch. Super smart dude.
Bro crazy, for sure.
All right. So you got $1 million in a year. What else you got?
We got 7 people that have had $100,000 months. I've had one of my.
No, we're not gonna gloss over that either, bro.
Yeah.
Some people don't make $100,000 a year.
I know.
That's still a huge number, right? That's that's 6 figures a year. Growing up, we wish we had a 6-figure income, right? 6 figures was everything.
Facts.
Saving, getting to 100,000, you feel like you different, right? With 100,000. How did you make or help somebody make $100,000 in a month?
Absolutely. So one of my biggest things we teach people in our program is make more offers, because most people don't make enough money because they don't make enough offers. They think the money's supposed to come. But I teach you how to go get the money. So a few ways. Some of them it's funding. So the thing about funding is it's high ticket, right? You got to think. I just told you, okay, if you get someone just $50,000, it's a $5K payout. If you get someone $100,000, that's a $10K payout. So all you need to go make $100,000 in a month is 10 customers. And one of the ways is if you don't have the clients, guess what? There's people who do. All right. So my saying that we teach is who has your money, and you need to think, right? People who are going to send you work. Credit repair specialists are one of the biggest affiliates. Yeah. So if I said if Charles does funding, all Charles needs to do is find 5 people who do credit repair, and once the credit repair specialist qualify them, they're sending you the work. What you would do is you would kick them back 1 to 3% in terms of referral. So if you get their client $100,000, $10K, you're giving away $2K, you're keeping 8. If you got 5 of those, 5 and 8, you're already at $40,000. Yep. Real estate investors are great partners. Real estate agents are great partners. Yeah. Tax preparation companies are great partners. Why? Because these people all have people who want to get funded. Really, when it comes to funding, everybody's your ideal person because everybody wants money. But if you can niche down and talk to these specific people, you're going to always have money going in. One of the things I do for my higher tier is I put them in positions to partner with people like you who have communities. So what they do is every month they'll come in your community, they'll give free game on how to structure your personal profile. And at the end of it, they say, hey, who wants me to just do it for them? If you have a community of 100 people and only 3 qualify, well, guess what? Now there's $30,000 potentially that's on the table. Yeah. What would the incentive be for you? The incentive would be, number one, your community looks better because now you can help more people, get more money to buy more land banks. And second, you get kicked back a percentage of it. So now you're happy, your students are happy, and the funders are happy. So these are some ways that people are making 6 figures and then having add-on services, right? So for example, you can get someone a shelf corp, right, to help them get a higher, older age LLC, which puts them in a position to get higher limits of funding. You can also add on services like, for example, when some people come to you, they're not qualified for funding, right? So instead of letting them go, you can either repair their credit, or if you don't want to, you partner with someone who does credit repair.
Put them in your ecosystem.
They need trade lines. They're going to want an LLC. They might want a structure for them, or they might want an H corp. So now what we're doing is we're 10xing the amount of revenue that we get by having more services.
Keeping a lot of those services in-house
100%.
Helps your pipeline, your ecosystem, and everything. That's crazy right there.
Then the best one is offering consulting.
Hard.
It ain't hard.
It's not hard to make $100,000 in a month.
Absolutely
when you
not.
put it that way.
When you understand.
When you understand how. All right, so now we're going to get a little crazy. Some people are not going to believe it's possible. $100,000 in a day.
Yes.
How?
So the $100,000 a day formula is a little.
You
different.
laughing because we see it all the
Because
time. And
we
you
do
know,
it all
like
the time,
these
yeah.
cameras, some of it's not
They're gonna be like, huh?
yeah, some
Nah,
is not
fact.
gonna understand.
Absolutely.
But for the sake of like YouTube, people, some will believe it, some won't.
For sure.
Please tell me, how did you teach somebody to make $100,000 in one day?
Absolutely. So if you want to make a lot of money in a little bit of time, what I tell you is you have to sell one to many, right? You have to, all right? Because I want you to think, you could get on 10 phone calls, back-to-back consultations, but the chances of you closing 10 people at $10,000 in one day is pretty slim, right? Mm-hmm. But if you could talk to 100 people at one time, right? If you could provide evidence that what you sell is the best avenue for them, if you could show that you're actually good at what you say you're good at, and if you understand how to ethically sell, then if you get 100 people and you only convert 10%, there'll be 10 people at $10,000 in one day that could pay you $100,000. So that's the way I could break it down in a step-by-step form. But essentially, I tell people the best way to get people to buy is by creating an environment that makes people feel like buying. And there's no better way than selling one to many, right? Because what you do is you get people to understand the power of whatever you're teaching. And not only that, but it's leverage. If I'm just talking to you and I'm breaking down your limiting beliefs, that's one thing. But if Charles, Cody, Ayo, Zaki, if you all have a belief and you all are getting micro results because I spent a day with you, right? Now what happens is you look at the person to your left of you, to the right of you, and you say, I see them getting closer to the fire, or I see the belief, or I want to continue to be in an environment like this, then you're more than likely to take the next step because you know that's what you need. So what we teach people is to do virtual multi-day events, right? So some people call them challenges, some people call them boot camps, some people call them mentorship. So what I do is, for this program, my 100K in a day program, you have to qualify for that. Right, you have to be making that already around $20,000 a month. And what we'll do is our goal is to take you to that 100K a day, because you need to have foundational skills. You need to know how to perform basic webinars. You need to understand how to speak to people. You need to have a good product, a good service. We're not out here selling bull crap. We're out here selling good. You need to be good at what you do. And then from there, what we do is we teach you how to formulate a multi-day event where you can love on people, give people some free game, really overcome objections, and then you can make an offer that helps and impacts people get to their next level, which is how we've helped people make $100,000 days. Yeah.
I ain't even gonna ask you how many $100,000 days you had, bro. The fact that you're able to make mini me's is still offensive too, right?
Nah, yeah.
Oh man, what you call a family? Other family members.
Yeah.
Do that, man. It's phenomenal. Like,
so in January we did I did a partnership with my guy Dion. We did a $1 million a month challenge.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you made $1 million in a month?
We did it in a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congrats to you. Is that when you bust out the Lambo?
Yeah, it was right after that. Yeah, that was the one.
I didn't want to say, but I knew the answer already. I knew something was coming. I knew that I-8 was getting bumpy. I knew it. Well, my son had, that's what my son drives.
That's a crazy flex.
No flex. No, that's
tough.
No flex.
No, that's tough.
I said that to say I know how it feels when it gets a little older. Of course. Year 3,
that's
year 4.
That's goals right there. He said, my son pull up to high school with that. Nothing too crazy.
Like, he don't like it no more.
He don't even like it no more.
He doesn't drive it. He doesn't drive it. But either way, right? Shout out to Dion, man, because I see him doing numbers that's crazy. Not even him. I see his people doing numbers, which is like better than anything, right? Because we don't even flex anymore. It's more so like helping people.
What are you producing? Yeah.
Is the big flex. So shout out to Dion and all the people that you've helped, man. Keeping a close eye on what you're doing, and I'm loving it from New York. And I'm loving just what the whole Atlanta is doing.
Nah, for sure. Atlanta different.
For our people, like, Atlanta is going crazy.
It is. It's crazy. Like, I've never been no place in the world where it's like, it's just contagious energy. Yeah. Like, I don't know what it is. It's like so many black people I think it's like,
it's normal.
It's like if you stay close to the fire, like you're gonna get hot eventually. I think it's one of those things where it's just contagious. Like, you might go to lunch. Like, I might pull up at Pasha for lunch, and you might just run into some people you see online, and next thing you know, y'all networking, masterminding, and now you're doing business with them. It's just different.
Yeah, it's environment, and then we got some really good thinkers, some really forward thinkers, and open minds that are together. and I see the motion and I see what comes out of it. It just
Absolutely.
it goes this way.
Absolutely.
Right? It goes that way. So I love that, man. So you got 100,000 in a day,
Mm-hmm.
$1 million in a month, right? What's next for you, bro?
Impacted more people. Like I said, this year is more millionaires. So, you know, my goal is
You addicted to the millionaire thing.
addicted. Gotta get 'em
I
out.
could tell you.
'Cause I don't like
you're
lo-
addicted
no, I
to
don't
the
like-
You're not losing. There's
Not
no
losing.
way you can say I lost.
Not losing.
Just
You're right.
because
You're right.
Dion
You're right.
got 18.
You're right. You're right.
Mitch got 12.
Yeah, you're right. You're
Whatever
right.
the
You're right.
whatever those numbers. You're
Yeah.
never losing.
Nah, facts.
By saying I only did 2 millionaires this
Yeah,
quarter,
no,
right?
facts.
That's not losing.
You're
bro.
right. I would say healthy competition is good.
Yeah.
And that's what pushes the fire. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
environment that I'm looking to create in our programs. Because what I realize is I've been in a lot of programs. Like before I got to this point, I've been in a lot of different programs. And what I say, the ones that are the best are ones where, as coaches, we have to push people and find ways to get people to push their ceiling. So one of the things we added in my program was sparring Sundays. And what that is every Sunday, I'm not on the call. It's about you or what's working for you, what's not working for you.
And they share it.
Because what happens is that is where some of the most impact is created. Because if me and you just paid the same price for a program and you're making $100,000 a month and I'm not, I got to look at myself and say, okay, what the hell are you doing that I'm not doing?
Absolutely.
So creating that environment has been the thing that's kind of up the ante.
I love it. What you got coming up that people could hop into or people can learn from you?
For sure. So I'm doing a 5-day live mentorship where I'm going to be showing you all how to get access to funding, but more importantly, how to really flip the bag. So I'm going to show you all how to run a 6-figure funding company and how to turn your information into cash flow. So that's going to be coming up June 9th through the 13th. And it's not going to be 1,000. It's not even going to be 500, bro. I'm going to do it for only $47 for the first 100 people. It's going to be $47. You guys are going to get to spend a whole week with me. All right, 5 days, 2.5 hours in the evening, a half hour in the morning. We're going to talk getting your mind right, tool set right, and the skill set right. So it's going to be dope.
You inspire me, bro. I'm going to just tell you right now. My conference ticket was $3,000 for VIP, $1,500 for, platinum was $3,000, $1,500 for VIP, and general admission was $497. I'm gonna change it because of you.
All right, let's get
I'm gonna
more
change
impact.
it because of you. Because I want more. I want more people. Now you saw the room was flooded, so I
That
gotta
shit was
change.
I was gonna say you're gonna get a bigger venue.
Yeah, you're gonna make me change the venue, bro. So I gotta change the venue, but bro, you inspired me. Keep doing what you're doing.
Likewise, man.
And I do this a lot, but I want to sponsor 5 people from my community into your challenge.
Wow, that's dope.
Because they're gonna be my. Now I get to brag. Those aren't your millionaires. Those will not be your million. They're gonna be mine. Who claims those?
We both.
No. Yo, bro, no. We gotta do a part 3 as soon as you make one of the millionaires, bro. We gotta come back. This is going to wrap up this episode of the Real Estate Newsroom. I'm Charles Noonan. We got Darius Benders.
Yes.
Tell them where to find you on Instagram
Absolutely,
real quick.
at Darius Benders on all platforms. Make sure y'all message me the word bootcamp, man. I'll send y'all the link. I'm also have the link in his bio. And make sure you keep going, man. I tell y'all, stay down till you come up. It doesn't matter where you're at. Don't let your current situation dictate your final destination, man. On that note, we out of here.
Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you.